Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today's video is a bit of a special one as it is a well-known trail in Mount Laguna, but a lot of these places get a little bit unrecognizable when they just get covered in snow. So as I mentioned, this is a well-known trail. It is Sunset and Big Laguna Loop to Big Laguna Lake. It is a shortened version of the trail that I've already covered, released in January 2021, of Sunset Trail to Big Laguna Trail Loop. That one's 6.7 miles, this one's 4. And as I mentioned, I hope you find it unique just because even though you may have done it, if you've never seen it in snow, it'll look very different. Let's jump into the B-roll and we'll come back and talk about trail details and what you should know and expect if you're gonna go hike here. Hope you guys enjoyed that. As I mentioned, a lot of these more common trails in Mount Laguna have a different feel and a very different look to them when they're just covered in snow. They look so beautiful. My tip before we jump into any trail details is if you're gonna hike these kind of places in the snow, you have to go early. Why? Because everyone and their mother in San Diego heads to the mountains when there's snow. So if you're an avid hiker and you go to these places pretty often and you're thinking, oh, I'll just wake up and go there. If you're driving up here at 10 a.m., hours you're gonna be stuck in line trying to get to some of these places, find parking, all because people just wanna drive up, park like an asshole somewhere and put the sled down and have some fun for a couple hours. So be aware. Let's jump into those trail details. So Sunset and Big Laguna Loop to Big Laguna Lake is a 4-mile moderately traffic loop trail located in Mount Laguna that offers a chance to see wildlife and is good for all skill levels. The trail is primarily used for hiking, walking, nature trips, bird watching, and is accessible year-round. Dogs are able to use this trail but must be kept on leash. Kids, yes. Dog, yes. Very recommended, as this is a very flat trail. As I've covered before, very easy to get here. It is the Sunset Trailhead on Sunrise Highway. You'll recognize it, one of the few places in Mount Laguna that has a porta potty, and you'll see the Meadows information kiosk trailhead. Also very easy to spot, as this is the first place where you can see parking on both sides of the street. If you guys want to see more about that, I talk a little bit more about parking in the previous Sunset Trail video that I made. I'll link that in the description down below. Now, before I explain a little bit about this trail, I want to cover what is the difference between this one that's 4 miles and the one that I covered in January of this year that is 6.7 miles. The biggest difference is this upper loop you see here. And I won't talk too much about it, because if you want to learn more about what to expect on this side of the trail, you need to watch the other video where we covered this specific trail. So why would you do this one? If you're doing sunrise, sunset, if you want to shoot some portraits like I did by the lake, and you don't have a ton of time, opt in for the 4 mile one. You can see here, it starts in the same place, right? And what happens is you basically get right to where the lake is, the Big Laguna Lake, and then you turn around. You turn around and then you finish on the Sunset Trail part of this. So this is the Big Laguna, this is the sunset side, and as you can see here, instead of turning around, you would just keep going all the way straight and then loop it all the way back around and then loop on this side. So a lot of the video footage that you guys saw was mainly on the Sunset Trailhead. It's very recognizable. I put up some portraits of Amanda at the lake. We turn back around, we make that right here in this portion, and the rest is just video of the Sunset Trailhead itself. As a photographer, also a hiker, but I think mainly photographer, I'm always looking for compositions. I think at some point I am gonna head to just the edge of Big Laguna Lake and shoot some sunrise or sunset photos. That's on my list of things to do. However, one of the things that I really liked about this hike, even though it was shorter, was that there were various points along this part of the trail here where you had absolutely fantastic views southwest of there, and you could even see Sunrise Highway, like you see where people start to pull up. That was a really interesting spot to me, especially because there were some big rocks you could climb up and get a much better viewpoint. So this is definitely something I'm going to go back and check out. But if you're like me and you're looking for places to hike but also really focus on photography, I think the Sunset Trailhead part of this had really nice views, and I would focus my time on that. If you want to learn more about Sunset and Big Laguna Loop, I would urge you to watch the other video I made, the explanation, just because I talk a little bit more about what to expect on the trailhead. The main thing here is it's flat, it's beautiful, it's relaxing, it's not a peak, you're not gonna conk or something. This is really to get out there, take your dogs, your family, enjoy, get some fresh air. With that said, make sure you follow me on Instagram at instagram.com/beautyiswild with 2 eyes, the YouTube channel at youtube.com/beautyiswild with 2 eyes, and make sure you check out my website at www.beautyiswild.com with 2 eyes. Stick around, we are covering the highest peak in San Diego soon. Very excited about that.